Right now at 10, thousands of state workers are looking forward to a raise in the new year, but there's still a bit of a hurdle in the way. We'll explain.
And a local board makes a decision on a plan to open up the shoulder of the Beltline during peak travel times.
Plus, a stolen car from Madison's west side ends up in a major crash downtown. We'll have the latest on those responsible and their condition tonight.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Tonight, breaking news. 3 people are dead after an active shooting situation at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii at Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam. In a press conference that wrapped up about 30 minutes ago, a base spokesperson says 3 people were shot, 2 of them fatally. The suspected gunman, who has been identified as an active military member, also died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The 3rd victim said to be in stable condition. Now, this comes just 3 days before many will gather there to remember the 78th anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor. Next month, tens of thousands of state employees are expecting raises that were approved 7 months ago.
But the final step before those become official, one final committee meeting, has yet to happen. Amy Reed joins us now to explain the holdup.
Even though a 2% raise was approved in May, it still needs to be signed off in another committee in the next 25 days or so. But as of now, there's no plan for them to meet. And now the people who are waiting on this are taking action.
AFSCME members, we need your help to ensure that public employees receive the raise they deserve.
Valerie Landowski is done waiting around. For months, that's all she's done.
The fact is that the legislature has already approved these raises. We're just waiting for them to finally get through the committee session.
Starting in January, state workers are expected to get a raise, 2% doled out between now and 2021. But by law, there's one more step at the Joint Committee on Employment Relations. The legislature's Finance Committee approved these raises in the compensation plan back in May on the 21st. In July, on the 3rd, Governor Evers signed the budget into law. But in all that time since, the committee hasn't met to approve them. And as of today, they still don't have a plan to meet.
The decision not to hold a meeting of the Joint Committee on Employment Relations is really irresponsible.
That's Stephanie Bloomingdale, the president of a union that represents state workers. She sent this letter last week to the co-chairs of the committee, Senate President Roger Roth and Assembly Speaker Robin Vos, asking them to meet immediately or else risk the employee raises.
These decisions were made in our legislative process months and months ago, and it is now time for them to schedule this meeting.
We ask you to contact your state legislators to let them know that public employees cannot afford to wait.
At Landowski's union, they're hoping calls to these leaders will do more than the letter. But whatever works, it's the action she's after.
We just need legislators to act and to have the courage to act.
We reached out to both Senator Roth's office and Speaker Vos's. A spokesperson for Vos said he couldn't sit down with us, but did let us know that the committee members didn't get details on a compensation plan from the governor until early November. However, we don't know why a meeting hasn't been held since then. Until the new compensation plan is approved, the current plan stays in place.
Okay, a story we'll keep on. Amy, thank you.
New tonight, the Madison Area Transportation Board is moving forward with a DOT proposal to allow drivers to use the shoulder on the Beltline during rush hour traffic. They're calling it dynamic part-time shoulder use, and it passed on a 10-3 vote. Supporters of the project say the pavement is already there, and it'll make commute times more consistent. Those who voiced opposition to the plan tonight say narrow lanes are more dangerous, and it could impede first responders' ability to respond to calls.
So by allowing traffic to move more freely with the ability to have this part-time shoulder use lane during those busiest periods of the day, we hope to reduce that congestion and then thus those congestion-related crashes.
So the work now shifts back to the Department of Transportation. Early next year, they'll be conducting an environmental noise study on the project before any construction can begin.
2 13-year-old boys are facing charges after Madison police found a BB gun in Jefferson Middle School this morning. They say it is the same one used to shoot a female student as she was getting off a school bus yesterday. This morning, police stopped that school bus and arrested the teen accused of shooting the student. Officers also took another 13-year-old boy into custody after finding the BB gun in a locker at Jefferson Middle. MMSD sent a letter to parents today saying support services will be available for students. In Milwaukee, 3 students ages 12, 13, and 14 have been arrested for allegedly making a shooting threat against a middle school on social media. Police became aware of the threat against Wedgwood Park International School just after 11:30 yesterday. The district attorney's office will review the case. And an update from Oshkosh, all students in the district will be back in class tomorrow, except for those at Oshkosh West High School. The district announced the schedule today, one day after a 16-year-old student at Oshkosh West stabbed school resource officer Michael WISC, who then shot the student. Athletic practices and events district-wide will also resume tomorrow.
To weather now, the calm streak continues. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti at our First Alert forecast. Gary?
Weather looking very nice over the next couple of days. It will still be mild tomorrow, a little colder for Friday, but back up to mild weather for the weekend. On Weather Track, there have been some light snow showers to our north and east across Michigan, but that's on the other side of a cold front, which really hasn't made it down into much of southern Wisconsin. You can see temperatures a little cooler to the north and east today. High temperatures mid-30s along Lake Michigan shoreline, but in the mid-40s over southwestern Wisconsin, including Boscobel, Janesville hit 45, Madison topped out in the low 40s. But now, right now, temperatures have dropped into the upper 20s and lower 30s. By tomorrow morning, we'll be in the upper 20s, but skies will turn cloudy. Look for a high temperature tomorrow of 41 degrees. Like I said, the mild weather will continue into the weekend, but there are big changes in the overall weather pattern as we head into next week. I'll have more details on weather.
A major crash this morning on East Washington Avenue sent 4 teenagers to the hospital.
Police say the vehicle involved was stolen. The crash happened about a block away from East High School. The 15-year-old driver did not stop when an officer tried pulling them over. Per department policy, the officer did not pursue. The passengers were 2 13-year-old girls and a 16-year-old girl. All 4 are expected to be okay. Now, home surveillance video shows the vehicle being stolen from a home. This is on the west side on Hammersley Road hours earlier. The car's owner told us he left the car running in the driveway while he ran inside to get his bag. He says his keys were with him, so as long as the thieves didn't turn the vehicle off, it could keep running.
And check out this video from Florida. Deputies say a car flew nearly 140 feet over dozens of parked cars at a dealership after the driver had a medical incident. This is in Citrus County yesterday. After the driver lost control, the car hit an embankment and went airborne before landing in the dealership's parking lot. Deputies say the car hit 3 other vehicles after jumping over dozens of others that were lined up. Amazingly, no one was hurt. According to reports from the state crime lab, meth use is increasing in our area. In previous years, most of the problem areas of meth use came from northern Wisconsin, but now the problem is shifting south. You can see on this chart provided by the DOJ the trend in how meth use has gone up tremendously. Since 2008, reported cases of meth use has quadrupled. The Department of Justice reported around 300 cases 10 years ago. This year, it's more than 1,200 cases.
A new marijuana dispensary breaking ground just across the Wisconsin-Illinois state line. City officials in South Beloit hope it'll be ready for the new year when marijuana becomes legal in the state of Illinois. While they're excited about the economic impact it could provide, police officials here in Wisconsin are reminding people it is still illegal here.
To be perfectly clear, marijuana continues to be illegal in Wisconsin. Don't put yourself in a bad spot by trying to bring it back here to Wisconsin and ending up having to deal with a criminal charge or something on your record that you probably don't want when you're out applying for a job.
Knudsen says anyone caught driving high faces an OWI charge.
George Zimmerman, the Florida man acquitted in the 2012 death of Trayvon Martin, is now suing Martin's family, prosecutors and others involved in the case for $100 million. In a lawsuit filed today, he claimed that the case relied on false evidence. Zimmerman and his attorney alleged that the prosecution's key witness was an imposter and fake witness, and that the Martin family's attorney defamed Zimmerman in the process.
3 constitutional scholars told lawmakers today they believe there is enough evidence to impeach the president for abusing his power and risking national security for his own benefit. But another called the case thin. Today's proceedings marked only the 4th time in American history that an attempt to impeach a president has gotten this far in Congress. The House Judiciary Committee spent the day questioning 4 law professors about whether the president committed an impeachable offense in his dealings with Ukraine.
Based on that evidence and those findings, the president did commit an impeachable abuse of office.
Same answer.
We 3 are unanimous.
Now, Jonathan Turley, a CBS News legal contributor, was the only witness for the Republicans.
Want to build an impeachment? You have to have a foundation broad enough to support it. This is the narrowest impeachment in history.
The House Majority Leader today indicated an impeachment vote could still happen by the end of the year if the House Judiciary Committee moves forward with recommendations within that time frame.
The Trump administration has unveiled a final rule today that will require more food stamp recipients to work in order to receive those benefits. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the new requirement could result in nearly 700,000 people losing assistance. The move is one of 3 Trump administration efforts to overhaul the SNAP program. Also today, the annual Christmas tree lighting at the U.S. Capitol. The tree was lit by Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, during a ceremony on the West Front lawn. The annual lighting is a time-honored tradition dating back more than 50 years. The tree will stay lit until January 1st. The Rockefeller Center Christmas tree in New York City also lit tonight. The tree, a Norway spruce that's more than 60 years old, stands 77 feet tall. It was cut down last month from a property in the village of Florida, New York.
Prosecutors have charged a Madison man with damaging the Wisconsin Supreme Court chambers. Court records show 26-year-old Timothy Binford was charged Monday with felony property damage and disorderly conduct. According to a criminal complaint, Binford smashed a table and threw papers, nameplates, and electronics around the chambers back on November 26th. All 50 states are now dealing with a vaping-related lung injury case. The latest case from Alaska, the CDC now reporting as of November 20th, officials were dealing with 2,290 cases of lung injury linked to vaping.
Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes-Conway says all flags will be flown at half-staff tomorrow in honor of former Mayor Joel Skornicka. He died last month of a suspected blood clot. He served as mayor from 1979 to 1983. A visitation and memorial service will be tomorrow at Old Brick Botanical Gardens. He was 82 years old. Still ahead tonight, a new police chief is named for the city of Sun Prairie.
Plus, putting in a little work for the Green Bay Packers, carrying on a tradition at Lambeau Field. That story next.
For reliable weather day in and day out, watch First Alert Weather. Have you
One of Janesville's busiest bridges is back open to traffic. The Milwaukee Street Bridge has been closed for more than a year due to high water and bad weather, delaying construction. DOT officials say they will complete the bridge's walkways following the winter season. The Milwaukee Brewers has just announced that Motley Crue and Def Leppard are coming to Miller Park. The two bands will perform on August 18th as part of their 2020 stadium tour. The band Poison, as well as Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, will also perform. Tickets go on sale to the public next Friday at 10 a.m.
City of Sun Prairie has announced its new police chief. During a special meeting late last month, the Sun Prairie Police Commission approved the hiring of Michael Steffes. They say he has 25 years of law enforcement experience, most recently serving as Deputy Administrator for the State Department of Justice. Steffes will begin at the department on December 30th. And in Middleton today, Police Chief Charles Folk was surprised during his final staff meeting before he retires next week. According to a post online, a dispatch supervisor surprised the chief and staff with some fresh-made fries. Folk has served the city of Middleton for 33 years and started there actually as an intern back in 1980. The new Vintage Brewing Company on the Near East Side is now officially open. It's located on East Wash between the Sylvie and Bree Stevens Field. Vintage was recently named the best large brew pub of the year at the 2019 Great American Beer Festival.
New tonight, the National Football League is telling a De Pere movie theater to stop showing the Packers games. The De Pere Cinema will no longer be allowed to show Packers games after receiving notice from the NFL that those showings are in violation of copyright laws. And Packers fans came out in droves today after the team put out a call for shoveling volunteers following a recent snowstorm that dropped more than 6 inches on Lambeau Field. More than 600 people showed up to help. Each shoveler was paid $12 an hour for their time, and it took around 3.5 hours to complete. Shoveling Lambeau is a tradition dating back many years.
6 inches of snow up there, that's nothing to those people up there. Well, we've enjoyed a nice sunny stretch of weather though, Gary.
Well, not having the snow has also kept our temperatures milder too. We've been in the 40s last couple of days, and tomorrow should be another day like that. The time lapse from the Queeby Radio Skycam in Platteville shows just how sunny it was over southwest Wisconsin. You'll see some clouds on the horizon here that kind of went over Madison for a time, but they never quite made it to southwestern Wisconsin, so their temperatures were in the mid-40s while we were in the low 40s here in Madison. 3 things you need to know in the forecast, though. Still be mild for tomorrow, although skies will be mostly cloudy. Friday, we'll get the sun back, but temperatures will be a little colder. For the weekend, though, the mild weather returns. Partly sunny skies on Saturday will bring temperatures back to around 40, and there will be a chance of a shower on Sunday with temperatures in the mid-40s. But then Monday, we have some light snow, windy, and colder weather. Temperatures start in the mid-30s, go downhill, and then by Tuesday and Wednesday, those are high temperatures. Around 20 on Tuesday and 18 on Wednesday, so it's going to be feeling very cold. Not only that, there'll be some wind too, so wind chills, especially early in the morning, will be below zero with nighttime low temperatures in the single digits. As we take a look at Doppler track, things have been very quiet across Wisconsin. There have been some light snow showers from the upper peninsula of Michigan through lower Michigan. This is actually as a cold front tried to sneak into northeastern Wisconsin, and then it just kind of stalled out here. So everything has been north of that front. As we look at the Edgewater Skycam, the live view there, skies have been mostly clear to partly cloudy in Madison this evening, but those temperatures were mild because we had sunshine for much of the day today. High today, 42. That's 8 degrees above the average high of 34, and 30 the overnight low, although right now our temperature is just above that at 31. Skies are still clear and the air is calm, but we'll see clouds move in later on tonight, and that'll keep our temperatures from dropping too rapidly. High temperatures over that snow cover, mainly in the 30s in the northern part of the state. Southern Wisconsin, no snow cover, a little more sunshine. Temperatures were in the 40s. Right now, temperatures are mainly in the 20s to low 30s statewide, but the bulk of the cold air from this that cold front has been mainly to the north of us. The upper level winds are from the northwest, so that front really didn't have much of a push here. It just kind of sailed over toward New England. That's where most of the cold air is heading, along with these snow showers that'll be wrapping around the backside of that big storm system that finally moved off the coast earlier yesterday. Now, to our west, the next weather system starting to gain strength, but this will take its time because the upper level winds will kind of push it north and then eventually east. So it'll take a couple of days to get here, but it will warm up ahead of that after a brief cool off for tomorrow or for Friday, and then temperatures will be back in the 40s for the weekend. You can see right now in the Midwest, there's that stationary front. parallel to the upper level wind, so there's really nothing to push it farther south. So the coldest air is staying north of the front, south of the front where we are. Temperatures still in the lower 30s, and we should make the 40-degree mark again for tomorrow before turning a little colder on Friday. Partly cloudy skies will turn mostly cloudy by morning with a low temperature of 26, and then for tomorrow, expect mostly cloudy skies, but we still should hit a high temperature of 41 degrees. On future tracking, see temperatures drop into the mid-20s, and the clouds move in for tomorrow with highs in the lower 40s. Tomorrow night, the winds shift around behind a cold front. It clears out the skies late with temperatures in the mid-20s, and then on Friday, high temperatures will top out in the lower 30s with sunny skies, but again, northwesterly wind just keeping us a little colder for Friday. Saturday, we're back up to 40. Sunday, 44 with a chance of a rain shower. But Monday, we'll see a high of 34 early with falling temperatures, and then some light snow late in the day, Monday into Monday night. Another chance of snow toward the end of next week, but in between, very cold conditions. And even at the end of the week, temperatures are below normal. That's about where we should be for the early part of January, and we'll be in the second week of December.
Here we go.
Luck's about to run out.
Once again.
Can't last forever.
All right, thanks, Gary.
You're welcome.
Jonathan Taylor continues the long legacy of award-winning Badger running backs. Story coming up next in sports.
News 3.
The Badger men's basketball team was 10-10 all-time in the Big Ten ACC Challenge. Game number 21 is tonight at North Carolina State. And here's kind of how things went for a good part of the night. The Badgers do something well here. Nate Reavers gets a dunk just before halftime. Then when you think the Badgers are going to take the lead into the locker room, Markel Johnson behind the back, half court, off glass, and in. Long night in Raleigh for the Badgers. The final score is NC State 69, Wisconsin 54. 3 Badgers in double figures. Ford 13, King 11, Reavers 11. The Badgers 5 of 23 on three-point shots. Saturday afternoon, Badgers begin play in the Big Ten when the Indiana Hoosiers are at the Kohl Center for a 3:30 tip-off. The Bucks try for their 13th win in a row. You'd figure they'd get it at Detroit. Wesley Matthews has been a great addition for the Bucks. Doesn't get the big stats, but 8 points tonight, a couple more assists. Then there's Giannis. If he can hit threes and make his free throws, the sky's the limit. Here's a long three. He also made 7 free throws in a row at one point. 35 points, 9 rebounds for Giannis. Bucks 127, Pistons 103. The Bucks are now 19-3 this season. That's the best record in the NBA. Last night, Oregon beat Beaver Dam in boys basketball 73-63, and in that game, a familiar face was back in a familiar position. Dave Shaw put on his striped shirt and returned to being a basketball official. He was an official for 27 years doing WIA and WIC games, but an injury forced him to the sidelines 8 years ago. Well, Dave Shaw still had the itch to give back to the sport, so this year he decided to return to officiating and hopes it might spark some others to become officials too.
We need officials to give back, come back and do it for the kids and for the love of the game. And I hope maybe some other people, young people will take a look at it. Ex-players might say to themselves, it's something I want to do and give back to the game, give back to the kids, give back to the communities.
The second day of Big Ten Football Awards features the offense, and Jonathan Taylor was the winner of the Amici Dane Award as the conference's top running back. He's rushed for almost 1,800 yards and 20 touchdowns so far this season. Now Taylor is focused on facing Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game Saturday in Indianapolis.
It's going to be a big game, not only because, the magnitude of it, but because it's our only game of the week. And we need to make sure we focus on that, understanding that, nothing else matters right now but prepping for this week. You really have to make sure you put all your focus, all your energy into this week's of preparation so you can be at your best on Saturday.
Taylor was a unanimous first-team All-Big Ten selection as well, along with center Tyler Biadasz. Logan Bruss, Quintez Cephas, Jake Ferguson, Cole Van Lanen all receive honorable mention All-Big Ten on offense today. And volleyball honors for the Badgers, too. Dana Retke, the Big Ten's Player of the Year. Sydney Hilly, the Setter of the Year. Kelly Sheffield, the Big Ten's Coach of the Year. Grace Loberg joins Retke and Hilly on the All-Conference First Team. Madison Duello, Molly Haggerty, and Danielle Hart all named to the All-Big Ten Second Team. And we'll be right back.
And Gary's back. One final check of the forecast.
A nice day today. High temperatures are in the lower 40s from Madison on toward the south and west, and we should see similar temperatures for tomorrow. Right now, we're right around freezing, a little colder to our north and west. Temperatures are in the 20s. High lower 40s tomorrow, back to the lower 30s for Friday, and mild for the weekend with a shower chance on Sunday, but some snow and falling temperatures on Monday. Very cold Tuesday and Wednesday. Maybe another chance of snow toward the end of next week.
Gary, thank you, and thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10.
Do something good, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.